All right, guys. So today I'm going to show you guys a little shoulders, arms, and abs training. Um, right off the bat here, I'm just warming up my shoulders, getting everything nice and warm, getting some blood in there, hitting all heads of the delt with this. You can get your shoulders nice and warm anytime you're training them, or any pressing movements or anything like that, because shoulders are very susceptible to injury on heavy pressing movements, and I've learned that the hard way. Here's just the ab portion. I'm not going to show a ton of abs because I don't have a huge focus on abdominal training, and a lot of people I know don't actually hit abs directly. You can do vacuum, what they call vacuums, which I think is actually a lot better than training your abs. Training your abs directly can potentially give you a wider waist, which is definitely something that I don't want, seeing as I'm going to be competing in classic physique. This is a high volume style workout. That means basically a lot of drop sets, a lot of techniques to bring you into failure rather than just doing straight sets, heavy sets of 8 to 10. Looking at this, you might think the weight's really light, and it is really light, but I'm doing it for a reason. I think that was my first working set of side lateral raises. I'm sitting down trying to keep it a little bit more strict, trying to just concentrate on that medial deltoid, which is hard to do. I mean, with this exercise, there's a lot of trap recruitment. I think what I'm doing here is what I call half drops. It's a great technique. I like to use it at the beginning and the end of my workouts. You'll see that I use a weight where I can get about 8 to 10 full range of motion, nice contraction, heavier weight, and then I drop right away without resting to half the weight, but double the amount of reps. So say I was to do 8 reps with a heavy weight with a 30-pound dumbbells, and then drop instantaneously to 15-pound dumbbells, but for 15 to 16 reps on the second set. That's what I call a half drop. And it really gets the pump going. It really gets the blood flowing and really sends that signal to the part of the body that you're trying to train. And that's really important, guys. So when you're training, make sure, like, whatever you're hitting that day, start off your workout and really let your body and your muscle know what you're hitting, right? Get that blood flowing, get the signal going right to that part of the body. Try and isolate it, right? That's what we're doing. We're talking about building muscle here, and that's what everyone needs to realize. I'm not talking about powerlifting. I'm not talking about getting as strong as possible. I'm talking about trying to build some lean tissue with my training techniques. This is just another technique, right? What I'm doing here is doing one arms, lateral raises, after I've kind of done a few other little techniques, the half drops, some straight sets. Now I'm moving on to just hitting just one at a time, really focusing on burning that delt out and concentrating just on that one side at a time to get that maximum mind-muscle connection. Again, like I've already said, you need to keep in mind that this is a high volume style workout, and I will do phases where I do higher volume, and then I'll do phases where I lift way heavier, lower rep ranges, and things like that. I really do believe that your best bet in building muscle is to switch things up, right? I think there's going to be a better way for everyone to build muscle, and it's important that everyone finds that personalized way of training that works best for them. I think for most people, it's going to be a heavier training style, progressive overload, moving up in weight, moving up in reps, lifting heavy, proper form, full range of motion, proper contractions, targeting of the muscle, putting it under as much tension and as heavy a load as possible throughout a full range of motion. That's going to make you grow. But there is techniques like this, using lighter weights, higher volumes, different techniques to bring your muscle into failure. Here, I'm just using a pressing machine. So I started with my side laterals. Now I'm pressing, which is more of a compound movement. It's going to hit all 3 heads of the deltoid at once. And again, I'm just using different techniques here. Started off with just a regular seated pressing movement at the front, and then I switched around on the seat and hit it from a different angle. And then also here I'm doing one arm and really concentrating. I mean, you can see my deltoid firing, right? There's no getting away from that muscle working here. And that's what you want. As you advance in your training, what you're going to realize is that it's not as simple as 3 sets of 10 to 12. That's fine for someone who is novice or someone who's just trying to, play around in the gym. But if you're really trying to see some results, you need to do some critical thinking, and you need to train harder and smarter. And when you go in the gym, you need to train so hard and so well that when you leave, you're not wondering if you did enough. You got to know by the fact that you're toast, that your muscles are fried, and you're all sweaty. And I mean, when you've trained hard enough, trust me. This looks like this is what some people might call a monster set or a tri set or something of that nature. But really what it is it's just combining a few exercises without rest to really end the shoulder workout and just fry out these delts. It looks like I went from seated rear flies to hit the rear deltoid, and then right into some standing front raises with the dumbbell to hit the front deltoid. And then here is some upright rows with a barbell to hit the menial deltoid. That's the idea anyways. I mean, it's kind of hard to isolate these muscles, right? But you do the best that you can, I guess. So there's a little drop set. Because this is just another way of bringing myself into muscular failure. Doing a little drop set at the end, lowering the weight without resting, and just really exhausting that muscle. I think that set was just a little too heavy. I chose weights that were too heavy for me, and by the time I was exhausted, I wasn't getting good contractions and things like that. And it looks like that completes the shoulder portion of the workout. So we started with shoulders, a little bit of abs, and then this looks like it's my first arm exercise, which is an underhanded Smith press. This is a great exercise, but not such a great exercise if you have any shoulder issues. For anyone just starting out, warm up your shoulders because once you get an injury, you're screwed. When I first started training, I didn't warm up. I lifted as heavy as possible, and I hurt my shoulder. And even 4 years later, it still is my weak point. When I do heavy incline barbell pressing, I get this little pain in my shoulder because it's weakened. The shoulders are just not really designed to have a really heavy load put on them in a pressing motion. So get them nice and warm before pressing. Trust me, you don't want to get injured, because if you're injured, then you can't train. If you can't train, you're not going to see any gains. Second arm exercise, just some straight bar preacher curls, supersetted with standing curls. So the idea here is you're doing a preacher curl, you're isolating the bicep. There's no momentum helping you bring that weight up, and then go right into a standing curl, which does allow you for a little bit of swing, a little extra momentum to get that weight moving and bringing you into failure. It's the same weight, but the reason why I can do more reps is because I'm standing, I'm using a little bit of body motion to get that weight moving. And here's some dumbbells, which is great because you can see what I'm doing is I'm manipulating the dumbbell to elongate my bicep. So if you watch my bicep, as I go down, I'm stretching it. And then as I go up, I'm bringing the dumbbell in, and I'm contracting it fully at the top, moving that bicep through a greater range of motion. And at the end, I'm just trying to keep it moving while my biceps are burning. It's a great exercise. And then here we go. Nice isolation, stretching out that bicep, getting a good contraction just to finish them off. This is, what I would call more instinctual type training of mine, right? Some of these exercises, I'm going in there and I'm knowledgeable enough to just kind of say, I'm not just going to do it by the book. I'm not going to do 4 sets of 10 to 12 of this exercise. I'm going to kind of feel what I need to do and just make sure that my bicep is being maximally stimulated. And this is the series of exercises that I just chose to do on this apparatus. And right here, I'm assisting a little bit and then letting it down slowly with the negative, just to fry those fibers a little bit more. And these are all techniques that you'll be able to utilize when you get more advanced in your training. Moving on, this is a great exercise for your triceps. I definitely recommend that during any sort of arm training, you need an overhead extension type movement, whether you're using a cable or a dumbbell or an easy curl bar or something. I mean, you want to be working your muscles through all their ranges of motion. And by having your arms up and pulling the weight behind your head like that, you're really hitting that long head of your tricep, which is a very important part of the tricep to make sure you're stimulating for sure, in my opinion. I mean, the tricep is 2/3 of your arm. It's bigger, or it should be, than your bicep. I mean, maybe not for some people, because most people emphasize the bicep, right? When people say, flex, what do you flex? Your bicep, right? But to have big arms, you gotta train your triceps. On a high volume workout, you'll see that I'm selecting exercises during this workout that, in my opinion, are better for a high volume training. They're more of an isolation exercise. Right now, this video was filmed, like a month ago, I guess, when I was doing a period of higher volume training. Right now, I'm currently doing a period of lower volume, higher weight, less reps, and I'm just eating like a pig. I put on 10 pounds since this video was filmed because I'm essentially forcing my body to grow through the oldest technique ever, which is progressive overload. It's like the simplest idea. You force your body to grow by lifting heavier things, and your body says, okay, I need to get bigger to be able to lift these weights that this person's putting on me. Obviously, I think it's important to switch things up. I think that higher volume training probably isn't going to be the best style for everyone. I think you have to be fairly genetically gifted to really grow from a high volume, lower weight style of training. Your best bet really is to stick with a progressive overload and to eat in a very high calorie surplus daily. And those are the very basics of what we do. And I think this is just finishing off the workout here just with a little superset, some tricep pushdowns, and some overhand curls. By curling with an overhand grip, you're going to recruit some forearms, some brachialis, which is always a good thing. A good way to work your forearms without working them directly is to do things like overhand curls, hammer curls. I mean, even look up Zotman curls. Those are great. This is a really cool exercise. Get those little, get the handles, and you can really kind of manipulate where your hands go and really focus on hitting your triceps super hard. And again, just supersetting with the overhand curls, working the bicep, working some brachialis. I mean, I've heard time and time again since I started training that if you really want to get your bicep to pop, you want to change your bicep, you want to get that growth, work your brachialis. I mean, it's tied into your bicep, and it'll really push it up and create a nice peak. Here we go with another overhead extension, but with a cable this time. Another really good movement. I think I actually prefer this with the rope. You get the rope, again, you can really manipulate exactly where you're putting the weight. And then this looks like it's superset with underhand bicep curls. I actually love this movement. It just feels really good. You can really feel it targeting your bicep. And I think this is probably the last exercise. I don't know if we filmed all my abs. Again, directly training abs is something that seems to be fairly controversial. Some people believe that if you train your abs directly, you're going to get a big blocky waist. I know guys who swear by just never wearing a belt and, just engaging your core on your compound lifts and doing a lot of vacuums. For those of you who don't know what vacuums are, I mean, it's become really popular with the classic physique division. It's an old school look where you actually suck your stomach in, showing off your rib cage, making you the illusion of having a smaller waist. Maybe I'll make another video on how to do the vacuum exercise. But I do vacuums as well, and I train abs directly, not all the time, but sometimes. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the content, let me know, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna try and come out with a lot more stuff. Be nice to know what people want, but yeah, thanks for watching.